Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see about Joseph Addison. Joseph Addison was born on 1st May 1672 and died in 17 June 1719. He was a British writer and politician. His name is usually remembered along with his friend's name Richard Steele, and together they founded the Spectator magazine. Addison was born in Millstone in Wiltshire, and his father's name is Lancelot Addison. Addison was educated at Charterhouse School, which is in London, and this is the place where he first met Richard Steele. And later on, he studied in Queen's College, Oxford. And since he excelled in classics and he was noted for Neo Latin verse, he became a fellow of Magdalen College. In 1693, he addressed a poem to John Dryden, and his first major book, a book of the lives of the English poet, was published in 1694. He translated Virgil's Georgics the same year, and Dryden, Lord Somers, and Charles Montague, the first Earl of Halifax, they obtained for him a pension of £300 a year, and this pension enabled him to travel to Europe with a view to diplomatic employment, and at the same time it gave him time to write and study politics. While he was in Switzerland in 1702, he heard of the death of William III, which is an event which made him to lose his pension because his contacts, Halifax and Somers, had lost their employment with the crown. Therefore, his pension was also cut, and Addison had to return to England at the end of 1703. But the Battle of Belhaim in 1704 gave him a fresh opportunity. The government, particularly Lord Treasurer Godolphin, he commissioned Addison to write a commemorative poem about the battle. And after he wrote about the battle, he was appointed Commissioner of Appeals in Halifax government. And then he started his next literary adventure, which was an account of his travels in Italy. In 1705, with the Whigs in power, Addison was made Under Secretary of State, and he accompanied Lord Halifax on a diplomatic mission to Hanover in Germany. In 1708 and 1709, Addison was a member of Parliament for the borough of Lostwithiel. He was also appointed secretary to the new Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, Lord Wharton. And under the instructions of Wharton, he was an MP in the Irish House of Commons for Cavan Borough from 1709 till 1713. In 1710, he represented Malmesbury in his home county of Wiltshire, holding the seat until his death in 1719. Addison wrote the popular church hymn, The Spacious Firmament on High, in The Spectator in 1712. In Ireland, he met Jonathan Swift and remained there for a year. Later, he helped to form the Kit Kat Club, which renewed his friendship with Richard Steele. In 1709, Richard published the Tatler, and Addison became a regular contributor to the Tatler. In 1711, they began the Spectator and the Guardian in 1713. His last publication was the Freeholder, which was a political paper in 1715 till 1716. He later wrote the libretto for Thomas Clayton's opera Rosamund. And Addison's tragedy Cato was produced and was received with acclamation by both Whigs and Tories. And he followed the same effort with a comedic play, The Drummer. Cato also has a prologue written by Alexander Pope and an epilogue by Samuel Gareth. In 1716, he married Charlotte, Dowager Countess of Warwick, after working for a time as a tutor for her son. He then lived at Bilton Hall in Warwickshire. His political career continued, and he served as Secretary of State for the Southern Department from 1717 to 1718. His political newspaper, The Freeholder, was much criticized. His wife was arrogant and imperious. His stepson, Edward Rich, was an unfriendly rake. Addison's shyness in public limited his effectiveness as a member of Parliament. He eventually fell out with Steele over the Peerage Bill. In 1718, Addison was forced to resign as Secretary of State because of his poor health, but he remained an MP until his death at Holland House, London, on 17th June 1719 at the age of 47. He was buried in Westminster Abbey, and after his death, an apocryphal story circulated that Addison, on his deathbed, had sent for his wastrel stepson to witness how a Christian man meets death. On 6th April 1808, Middletown, a town in upstate New York, was renamed Addison in his honor. Addison Road in West Kingston was also named after him. Addison has contributed 42 essays to the Tatler and 274 essays in the Spectator. Addison also assisted Steele with the Guardian, which began in 1713. He wrote an essay entitled Dialogues on Medals, which was translated into French by 18th century priest and journalist Simon Jerome Borlet de Vaxelis. He also left an incomplete work of the Christian religion. Addison's character has been described as kind and magnanimous, cool and unimpassioned, with a tendency for conventional excess. His essays are noted for their clarity and elegant style, as well as their cheerful and respectful humor. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.